Hello and welcome out to Kenai and the Peninsula Oilers playing at home for their home opener against the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. And the Chinooks making the drive down today. They've got 6 games in 5 days, a doubleheader coming in on Saturday. And the Chinooks playing here on the road for the second time this season. Opened up against the Miners for the first game of the season and took a win. They're trying to pick up a win and end the 4-game losing streak that they are currently entering in at 1-4. One less game than any other team has played in the ABL. I'm Josh Salem here, joined with Wyatt Wewell, and it's pretty nice weather out here today in the Kenai Peninsula, and a great day for some baseball. We'll give you the starting lineup for the Chinooks as they're going to hit first. It's Jess Davis leading off in center field, batting second, Brandon Cody in right field, Hayden Keller batting third, the designated hitter. First baseman Ethan English batting fourth. Pate Fullerton batting fifth as the shortstop. Jake Collins in the sixth spot behind the plate. Joe Brazil, the third baseman, batting seventh. Patty McCormick at second base batting eighth. And Trevor Cho will clean up the lineup as the left fielder. We'll see in the bottom half of this inning, Trevor McGee on the mound for the Chinooks. But right now I'm getting ready to go, Joey Becker on the mound for the Peninsula Oilers.
Up first for the Chinooks, number 22.
Davis gets ready to go as he steps in the left-hander's batter's box and will face the righty of Joey Becker. Davis comes in, a .318 hitter, has played in 5 games, all 5 of which, and been in that 1-2 spot. Has had the second most at-bats on the team with 22. 6 runs scored, 7 hits. Those 7 hits, the second most on the team. He had 3 of them yesterday, and he's had 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and 3 walks. The first pitch to open up the ball game is going to be swung on and laced foul down the left field line and way out of play. So a 1-0 count here as Joey Becker works ahead in the count to Jess Davis with speed. Ball 1 is up and out. Defensively for the Oilers, in left field it's Camden Vasquez, in center field Paul Stephenson, the right fielder Damon Keith, and then the starting infield here at home for the Peninsula Oilers. Third baseman Bobby Goodlow, the shortstop Skylar Messenger. Second baseman Victor Carlino, as that pitch is off the plate for a 2-1 count. First baseman Jaden Fine. Behind the plate is Jonathan Villa, and again on the mound is Joey Becker. Oilers, and it'll bring up Brandon Cody.
Now batting number 18, Brandon Cody.
I took a couple warm-ups with the infield before the game, and some rocks out there. You never know. When you put the ball in play, it might skip up on you. And again, the Oilers been on the road for the first few games of this season, and now getting here. Ground ball hit hard up the middle. Victor Carlino fields it, throws it across his body, and makes a great play on the first pitch to Brandon Cody for the second out. 5 pitches into the inning, and a good job by Joey Becker. It'll bring up Hayden Keller, the designated hitter.
Hayden Keller.
Just to the right of the second base bag, and Victor Carlino was shaded towards that direction. Just rolled right off the right side of the mound. Left-hander Hayden Keller will step in. He's the 4th best hitter currently in the league with 8 hits, and that's inside for ball 1. He's right behind Camden Vasquez, who we'll see hitting, as well as the Oilers' Drew Thorpe. And that pitch is way out. Oilers also have the catcher Servine, who's actually not in the game today for them. He is 3 of those guys in the top 5 hitters currently as the batting leaders in the ABL. Next pitch is going to be strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. 2-1 count, 2 outs. Chinooks would like to break up the perfect inning here against Joey Becker. Maybe start a 2-out rally. Again, Keller, 21 at-bats, and has had 8 hits in those 21. A .381 hitter. Hit hard, and again to Victor Carlino. He'll stay down on it. 3 straight outs to Carlino to open up the ball game. We're moving to the bottom of the first inning as it's a 0-0 ball game, and we'll give you the starting lineup for the Peninsula Oilers when we come back. You're listening to Chinooks Radio.
Now batting for your Peninsula.
Back for the bottom of the first inning, the Peninsula Oilers got 3 outs by the second baseman on 3 straight ground outs, and those 3 outs made by Victor Carlino. The starting lineup for the Oilers, Skylar Messenger leading things off as the shortstop. He's going to face off against Trevor McGee here as he steps in the right-hander's batter's box. Camden Vasquez batting second as the left fielder. Jaden Fine, the first baseman, batting third. First pitch here is inside for ball 1. Batting fourth, Bobby Goodlow, the third baseman from TCU. Batting fifth, Damon Keith, the right fielder. Behind him is Drew Thorpe, the designated hitter. And that'll just miss low, a 2-0 count. Victor Carlino behind Thorpe as the second baseman in the 7th spot. Paul Stephenson, the center fielder, batting 8th, and Jonathan Villa will clean up the lineup as the catcher. Pops it up on the left side, and Trevor Cho will make a few steps in. And he's on it. He'll make the catch. So 3 pitches and a pop-up for out number 1.
Now batting number 7, Camden.
And I'll bring up Camden Vasquez, the left-hander, to step in to the box and face off against McGee. Vasquez is just off the plate for a ball. And that'll just miss as well. 2-0 count. Second batter in a row. McGee is fallen behind in. Vasquez, second highest batting average on the team. And he'll take a strike on the outside part of the plate. 421 hitter. Two-one count is fouled out of play. It ties the count up at 2-2 here with 1 out in the inning. Vasquez, third highest batting average in the league at 421 and had 19 at-bats, 5 runs and 8 hits. Capped off the end of the plate. A tough play for Joe Brazil, who'll field it and just eat it on the base hit. Sometimes that falls for you, and Brazil was playing back with 2 strikes. Well, that'll be the first hit of the ballgame as it brings up Jaden Fine, the first baseman. Fine will have a righty-on-righty matchup with Trevor McGee. McGee has a little bit of a sidearm and lower third sidearm at that. A lot of movement on his pitches. And the first hit for the Peninsula Oilers. The delivery here, and that'll be up and inside for ball 1. Defensively for the Chinooks, it's Trevor Cho in left field, Jess Davis in center, Brandon Cody in right field, and then from left to right on the infield, Joe Brazil at third base, Pate Fullerton at shortstop, Patty McCormick at second. Runner not going here, and it's up and inside for ball 2. The first baseman, Ethan English, and behind the plate again, Jake Collins on the mound, Trevor McGee. 1 hit given up to Camden Vasquez. Jaden Fine, the first baseman, up next. Fine, a 158 hitter, runner going, and a 3-0 count instead on the stolen base for Camden Vasquez. Pitch missing. Jake Collins not able to get a throw down. And that's going to be fouled just over the backstop, swinging on the 3-0 count. 3-1 currently, 1 out, and Jaden Fine, not a stolen base against the Chinooks so far in last game, and has not had one this season. He picks up his first to put himself in scoring position here in the first inning. Being worked with Patty McCormick out at second base, the 3-1 pitch awaiting, and it's shot to the right side. Ethan English takes it off the chest, he'll flip to first base, and a slide in, and he's out at first. Good job covering by Trevor McGee, and a great job by Ethan English to keep it on the infield and stick with it. Took a really hard hop, took it right off the chest, and a good job by McGee covering. Sliding in head first and trying to beat out the throw was Jaden Fine, and he's actually out for the second out of the inning. So with that, Bobby Goodlow, the third baseman, up next. Camden Vasquez moves up to third, and Jake Collins needs to be a brick wall behind the plate. Next pitch from McGee, way inside for a ball. We apologize for one of the fans for the Oilers standing currently in front of the camera, blocking home plate. Sorry you can't see that. Next pitch is going to be a foul ball right to the third base dugout. Just got a piece of it. 1-1 count, 2 outs. Chinooks trying to avoid a run here in the inning. If McGee can get one more out, it was a 1-out base hit on the swinging bunt to third base. Next pitch, inside and low to Goodlow. Goodlow out of Fort Worth, Texas, and is staying in Fort Worth for Texas Christian University, and a freshman there, playing under TCU, and the next pitch is fouled up and out of play again. Schlossenager, the head coach there, longtime TCU coach, and has had many successful seasons. 2-2. McGee looking for one final out here. One good pitch. And fouled out again. Good at bat here from Bobby Goodlow. Two-two pitch. McGee comes set. The delivery home. And capped up the middle. Patty McCormick on it. Fields it. Throw to first base. Third and final out. And he's out by a step. Back for the top of the second inning, 0-0 ball game. Ethan English, the first baseman for the Chinooks, making a nice play to get the second out of last inning, and he's up next. Lead off the top of the second inning, 3-3 down for the Chinooks in the first, off 3 straight ground balls to Victor at second base. And that's fouled directly back in our direction. Chinooks trying to get some base runners going. The only base runner last inning was for the Oilers, and it was a mishit base hit by Camden Vasquez on the infield. Hit hard to center, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Ethan English with the first hit for the Chinooks, and he leads off this inning with a base hit to the middle and center fielder. It'll be picked up in center field by Paul Stephenson and thrown in. Brings up Pate Fullerton next, a left-handed hitter. Pate Fullerton, one of 2 brothers on the team, a 125 hitter so far this season, 16 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 runs scored, and 2 doubles. Both of his hits have been the doubles. There's our flyover, an inning late. Bunt shown, laid down. English hustles over, picked up by Villa, throw to first base is up the line, but still caught on the sacrifice bunt. Good job, moves up English to second base, and Jake Collins will be up next. Collins still chasing his first hit. He's in a big position to get one here. 1 run scored, and that was on his 1 walk this season. 1 strikeout against him as well. It was a good stretch at first base by Fine up the line. Great play by Villa. And up inside for ball 1 to Collins. Jay Collins, one of 2 catchers on the team with J. Paul Fullerton, and both of them splitting time here. Collins, an inch higher than Fullerton. 6'2 frame, 205, and a sophomore at Minot State University. Check swing did not go around, and that'll be a 2-0 count. Minot State. English out at second base. The next pitch. And that's inside. 3-0 count. Patty McCormick on deck. Excuse me, Joe Brazil on deck. Patty McCormick would be up next. Brazil, the third baseman for the Chinooks, has 2 hits as well this season. Only 2 players, Trevor Cho and Collins, both searching for their first hit of the ABL. And that's ball 4 in the dirt. Ethan English will stay put at second base as Villa scoops it up. And that'll be a walk issued against Collins. He's on for the first time today. Joe Brazil, the third baseman, steps up next. Again, Brazil led off his first at bat as a Chinook with a single up the middle that he just laced right to the right side of the pitcher, George Arias, for the Miners. And Arias pitched well last night against the Chinooks in that 12-4 victory for the Miners. Gave up 1 run. Runners on first and second, no 1 out in the inning. And the next pitch is inside for a ball. 5 straight balls here from the pitcher, Joey Becker. Becker has pitched in 2 games, started 1, this making his second start here. Hit hard to the left side. If that squeaks through, it does. They're going to wave around Ethan English. He's heading home. And he's going to come in to score safely, as that's an RBI single for Joe Brazil. First run hit in on the season thus far, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Chinooks. Just gets past the glove of Skylar Messenger, and small hesitation by the left fielder, Camden Vasquez. Ran in hard on it, and it moves up all runners. So with a 1-0 lead, as Ethan English comes in to score, runners moves up. Jake Collins to second base, who walked, and then Joe Brazil with the RBI single. Patty McCormick up next, the second baseman for the Chinooks. First pitch here from Joey Becker. As inside and ball 1. About chest high. Some more stats for Becker. He has pitched for 5 1/3 innings, given up 4 hits as well as 2 runs, both of which were earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts in favor of him, and a .415 earned run average. Safely sliding in from Jake Collins, a close play, and Becker thought he was out. I believe that was the right call by the umpire in the field. It was definitely close, but hand got in there for Jake Collins. He's hopping around out at second base, and the second baseman on the applied tag was Victor Carlino. Big lead for Jake Collins. The delivery home. And that's a strike on the inner part of the plate to Patty McCormick. On deck, Trevor Cho here with 1 out in a 1-0 ball game. A long pause by Becker, the delivery home. Hit a slow ground ball to Kessinger. He'll flip it to second, and it goes in and out of his glove. They're going to wave Jake Collins home. Runners will move up, and now he's in a rundown. So now you got an out on the tag and just a tough break, as he didn't realize that the ball went out, and Jake Collins is going to be tagged out by the third baseman. So a break for the Oilers moves up runners to second and third. And 2 outs for Trevor Cho. That could prove costly here. John Groth, the third base coach and head coach for the Chinooks, 8th year for the Chinooks, was waving Collins, was thrown over the head of the second baseman, Carlino, and, just a tough break as it wasn't located and runners were moving up anyways. Joe Brazil hustling all the way around. At that point, you just try and take your chance at home. Low and in the dirt, ball 1 to Trevor Cho. That'll go as an error by the shortstop, Skylar Messenger. on the fielder's choice that allowed for runners to move up technically, but they still do get the fielder's choice out. I guess that technically doesn't go as an error. It just goes as a fielder's choice, so it works out for Messenger as well. Two outs in the inning, a 1-1 count as Cho chased the last pitch on the inside part of the plate. Ball two is upstairs. On deck, Jess Davis led off the top of the first inning with a ground ball to second base. Chinooks need another run here. They're up 1-0, but they've had runners on second and third now, looking for a two-out base hit. Trevor Cho looking for his first hit in the ABL. Pokes it foul, and that'll tie the count at 2-2.
This foul ball brought to you by Arby's.
Long pause from Joey Becker. He's looking for a third out, but Trevor Cho looking for a hit, and he'll work a full count. Pitch missing upstairs, and a big pitch awaiting. Becker asking for the count again, just wants to make sure here. Has a full count, has one walk given up in the inning, which is Jake Collins. Full count, 2 outs. The payoff pitch. Hit on a ground ball to Carlino. It stays down on it. The throw over to first is wide, but he'll still stick with it for the third out. So the Chinooks strand two on a unfortunate play, but they're up 1-0 as we move to the bottom half of the inning with Trevor McGee coming back out in the defense for the Chinooks. We'll be back in a moment. Back for the bottom of the second. Chinooks scrap a run across. They're up 1-0 here on 2 hits last inning. Ethan English coming in to score, and Chinooks had some runners on base, but they'll strand 2 to end that inning. Ground ball up the middle, and the first pitch swinging from David Keith will be a single up the middle. Brings up the 2-hole of the inning and 6-hole on the lineup, the designated hitter Drew Thorpe.
Now batting number 15, Drew Thorpe.
Drew Thorpe up next, and Thorpe, the leading hitter currently in the ABL. Thorpe is from Cal Poly SLO out of Washington, Utah. McGee giving up his second hit. And a pickoff attempt over. Good job by Ethan English, keeping in front. Quick move by McGee. Don't really need to worry about Damon Keith here. Try and get a ground ball double play. Runner going, and it's going to be a throw down from Jake Collins. The tag applied, and he's out at second base. So that'll be a throw out for Damon Keith as Damon Keith took off, but it was a close play, and umpire was right on it, and that's one I don't necessarily agree with. From here, it looked like he was safe sliding in, but Umpire's right on, and I guess maybe his hand didn't get in there in time. He was going for the backside of the bag, but that's the only thing I can think of. It was a great throw from Jake Collins, but 2-0 count as Thorpe takes inside. And that pitch will be a strike on the outside part of the plate, 2-1 count. Swing and a miss from Thorpe as it's a fastball that drops in on the outside part of the plate. 2-2 count, 1 out. No strikeouts so far for McGee. He's looking for one here against the best hitter in the ABL. He'll get a chopper right back to him. He'll run it over and flip it underhand for out number 2. Good job from Trevor McGee. Brings up Victor Carlino, the second baseman, who is so far in 2 innings made 4 putouts defensively.
Number 13, Victor Carlino.
Or excuse me, 4 assists defensively. Damian Keith led off with a single, but then was caught stealing to lead off this inning. Drew Thorpe grounding out to McGee, the pitcher for the Chinooks, and now Victor Carlino up next. And chopped to the first base side. Goes just foul to the right of the first base bag.
Brought to you by OSK OSMI.
Victor Carlino, 300 hitter exactly in 5 games played. Now making his 6th start of the season. Has 6 hits and 20 at-bats. He'll swing through that pitch and foul tip it. 0-2 count. 2 runs scored for Carlino this season. 3 RBIs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Those 8 strikeouts most on the team for the Oilers. When he gets on, he loves to steal, though. He's got 2 stolen bases, tied for the most with Keith. Lacing into left field. Trevor Cho going back. He's on it. He'll make the catch. 3 up, 3 down go the Oilers, and the Chinooks will keep the 1-0 lead as we go to the top of the 3rd with the top of the order coming back around. Jess Davis, Brandon Cody, and Hayden Keller. When we come back, you're listening to Chinooks Baseball.
Parents, the Jumpin' Junction Kids Zone is open.
Three up, 3 down for the Oilers in the bottom half of the inning, and a good job by Trevor McGee. Gave up a leadoff single, but got some help from the catcher, Jack Collins, as he threw out Damon Keith trying to steal. No strikeouts for either team thus far. 2 hits given up for either team as well. Still a 1-0 ball game, and Jess Davis shows butt, pulls back, ball 1 low. Chinooks able to get that run last inning off Joe Brazil's RBI single to bring in Ethan English, and that pitch will paint the outside corner. Jess Davis grounded out to second base, and he's up for a second time today. That ground out was 1 of 3 in the first inning, all to Victor Carlino at second base. Poked foul and out of play. It'll be the 1-2 count.
Foul ball brought to you by Mike and Peggy Baxter.
Joey Becker awaiting for his next pitch. Comes set. And the delivery. And that's tailing away on the left side of the field. It was hit hard, and it's going to be a tough play for the left fielder. He slides, and it bounces right in front of him on the attempted catch by Camden Vasquez. Vasquez making his best attempt at it. Slid feet first, and I think the only other way he would have had a chance to catch it, maybe a better chance to catch it, was to dive head first. But he would have slid from midway in that grass on the left side of the line all the way to the warning track that runs around the entire field. New life for Jess Davis. He's looking for a hit in this ball game. And hit up the middle. Stayed inside of it. Going to be a tough play. Speed, and it's going to be sailing high as Jess Davis stays put. Good job behind the plate. And we'll see if that's an error or a hit. It was a tough play for Victor Carlino, running to his right. Up at second and against the leadoff, the speedy Jess Davis. Jess Davis has 4 stolen bases and the most in the ABL so far this season. So when we get the word, we'll let you know if that was a hit or an error. And that's going to go as an error against Carlino. Would have been a bang-bang play. Jess Davis not going here, and the first pitch is inside to Brandon Cody for ball 1. Cody, a ground out to second base, hit it right in the same spot Jess Davis just did. But Davis on here with the error from Carlino. 5th ball hit to him so far today. And a check swing, a throw down to first base by Villa. Did not go around, a 2-0 count. Here in the top of the 3rd inning, a 1-0 lead. Chinooks trying to add to it. Lost a big game against the Oilers the first time. The 2-0 pitch. Jess Davis staying put here. Hit off the end of the bat to right center field, and that's going to be caught in right field as well for the first out of the inning by Damon Keith. Just caught it off of the middle of the bat, and it'll bring up Hayden Keller, designated hitter, who grounded out to second in his first at bat. Davis reaching by an error. He's at first base. He'll probably take off at some point during this at bat. Villa, a good arm behind the plate. The delivery not going, and capped foul on the first pitch.
This foul ball brought to you by Christy Babcock at State Farm.
Becker's delivery, and it's going to miss low. 1-1 count, 1 out in the inning as Brandon Cody throwing over to right field. So again, 1-1 count, 1 out, a 1-0 ball game. 2 hits for either team. 3 hits for the home team, as that's going to be swung on by Hayden Keller, and he just swings through it. Keller struck out twice of an everyday starter, the most, second lowest, tied with Mason Corbett and J. Paul Fullerton. Has tied the count up at 2-2 here with 1 out. Big hole between first and second. The delivery. And capped to the third baseman. Going to stay down on it, throw to second. Hayden Keller hustling. He'll be just out at first. So a ground out double play to end the inning. From the top of the order, first 3 guys out, and that'll bring up Ethan English next inning. But first, Trevor McGee and the defense coming back out. Good play all around as it was fielded by the third baseman, Bobby Goodlow. He throws to second base by Victor Carlino, and on the back end, and first baseman Jaden Fine is there for the putout. 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and finish off the 3 first full innings. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. And we're back. It's a 1-0 lead for the Chinooks as Paul Stephenson steps in, the center fielder, for his first at bat, and he'll take ball one just low. A hit in each inning for the Oilers. And the Chinooks grounded into a double play to end the last inning, or the top of this inning, excuse me. 2-0 count as the pitch is thrown high from Trevor McGee. No one warming up in the bullpen for either team, just 3 innings into the ballgame. Jonathan Villa up next, and the top of the order coming back around for a second time with Skylar Messenger. A check swing, and that's going to go just over to the stands.
This foul ball brought to you by First National Bank of Alaska.
1-0 the score again, and Chinooks trying to hold on to this one to keep it that way the rest of this ball game. Next pitch, and that's way outside as was trying to go with the off-speed, throws it all the way to the backstop, and it's 3-1 count. McGee will shake it off, get ready to go here. As Messenger came over to retrieve the ball. The 3-1 pitch awaiting. Hit off the end of the bat to shallow right field. Coming over Brandon Cody. He's on it and will make the catch. Good job by Brandon Cody to hustle and chase it down on the weak fly out to right field for out number 1. Jonathan Villa up next.
Now batting number 27,
the 9-hole.
Villa.
Jonathan Villa, the Villa coming out as one of 3 catchers, and this catcher from Ensenada, Mexico, in his junior year at Faulkner School. And chopped on the one hopper to McGee. He'll field it, step over it, throw to first base for the second out. Second ground ball hits McGee, both of which he has gotten, and that's the second out of the inning.
Now batting number 22, Skylar Messenger.
As Villa grounds out to McGee, Skylar Messenger flew out to left field to lead off the top of the first inning. Had a 2-0 count and tried to get one out of here that he just got underneath and lifted to McGee. Lifted to Trevor Cho in left field. Messenger takes that pitch at the bottom half of the strike zone. 1-1 count. Messenger a .091 hitter in 23 at-bats. He has had 2 hits and 2 runs scored. 2 hit by pitches as well. Just missing low and inside. 2-1 count now here with 2 outs. The windup and the pitch. Curveball, and that's a strike. Ties the count up at 2-2. And the Chinooks need 1 more strike to get out of the first 3 innings unscathed. Pitch missing away. 3-2 count. Camden Vasquez on deck awaiting. Popped up and out of play.
This foul ball brought to you by Bill Parker.
Full count, just spoiling it on the poke foul, up and out of play by Messenger. Wind up in the next pitch. And that's going to be ball 4 as it's the first walk issued by Trevor McGee, and it keeps the inning alive. Brings up Camden Vasquez, who hit the single, just capped it off the end of the bat to Joe Brazil at third base. Able to beat it out at first. No throw was made. And that's capped foul over the third base dugout.
This foul ball brought to you by Michael and Diana Tice.
So the Chinooks, if they can win today, they will be tied with the Oilers at 2-4. And that pitch just missing off the plate. Jake Collins with a cannon behind the plate. He's already thrown out one player trying to steal. That was Damon Keith, who led off the second inning. McGee coming set. Messenger, the shortstop, staying put at first. No steal attempt there, and that's just off the plate. 2-1 count, 2 outs. First time these two teams fared off, Camden Vasquez scored 2 runs and had 2 hits in the ball game as well. 2-1 count, 2 outs. Short lead by Messenger. And way outside, 3-1. McGee struggling to get that final out here in the inning. He'll look to get it here against Camden Vasquez. Outfield playing straight away in their relative positions, as is the infield. And that pitch is ball 4 off the plate. 2 back-to-back walks, and Jaden Fine, the 3-0, comes up next. Grounded out to first base in the first, and Jaden Fine coming out of Simi Valley, California, in his freshman year at San Diego State University. Only player on the team from San Diego State. And he'll swing at the first pitch and cap it up and out of play on the right side of the field. Fans continuing to pile in here. A lot of fans sitting down by the Chinooks bullpen on the left side of the field, which is directly into the sun on the right side of the field. Runners on first and second, both were walks, and the next pitch. Poked up and out of play. Off-speed pitch to get Fine to swing and foul it back. Big pitch coming for Trevor McGee and the defense for the Chinooks. They're trying to get out of this inning. It was 2 quick outs on a fly out to right field from the bat of Paul Stephenson. The center fielder and then the catcher Jonathan Villa grounded out to McGee. But back-to-back walks from Messenger and Vasquez have put a runner in scoring position here in the third inning. And that pitch just missing inside. Try to work a curveball on the front door. But instead it goes as ball 1. Chris Beck, the pitching coach, had his 42nd birthday yesterday. He's standing out of the third base dugout just awaiting to have a meeting. Curveball. Ground hopper to the third base side, and a great job by Joe Brazil as it took a incredible hot, almost got over his head, and he makes an incredible play on it to save a run that would have tied this ball game. Steps on third base for the force out, so Jaden Fine grounds out to Joe Brazil to end the inning. The Oilers strand 2. When we come back, the Chinooks look to add, as when they were in the same situation 2 innings ago, Ethan English led off with a single. It'll be him, Fullerton, and Collins. When we come back, you're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Ethan English led off the second inning with a single up the middle. Was moved over by Pate Fullerton, who's on deck, via a sac bunt, and he's up to lead off this inning. His pitch is going to be ball 1 low as the catcher Villa tried to frame up a ball that he scooped in the dirt. for the home plate umpire. Smash down the left field line, going to go way foul, about 1.5 miles. And so that'll keep it a 1-0 lead here, as it's just a 1-1 count, no outs to Ethan English. We do apologize that it might be a little fuzzy for y'all listening. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button on YouTube, please do that. And bell icon as well. Subscribe button is red, the bell icon right next to it. If you want to get notified when we play, makes it easier for you. That way you don't have to follow us on, you can still follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram as well, but you don't necessarily have to go on there just to find the link. You can just follow us on the Chinooks radio. And that's going to hit Ethan English for a hit by pitch. English got hit by a pitch yesterday, right in the leg. This one he wears right in the upper shoulder, and Ethan English, his large physique, I'm sure he felt the fastball a little bit, but he's a 6'3", 220 sophomore from John A. Logan College, and he's able to reach here for the same situation back in the second inning. Top of the fourth inning, Paige Fullerton getting signs from the third base coach, John Groth. On deck is Jake Collins, who walked back in the second inning, before Joe Brazil brought in Ethan English on the single. And ball one is up and away from Fullerton. We'll give you some updates when the Miners and Bucks are going. It's still a 0-0 ball game in the third inning. Next pitch, called as a strike to tie the count up at 1-1 on the lower third of the strike zone. English at first base, a short lead, and not sure if there's a miss sign there, but Groth just steps back out. Hit off the end of the bat to shallow center field, going back a few steps, catching it on the left side of his body is the center fielder Stephenson for out number one. Brings up Joe Brazil next, Jake Collins next, the catcher for the Chinooks before Joe Brazil moves on deck. So just a weak line out to center field off the bat of Paige Fullerton. And the first pitch of this at bat is strike one on the outside part of the plate to Collins. Jake Collins in his sophomore year out of Minot State. And the next pitch is low and away. 1-1 count, 1 out. Two hits thus far for the Chinooks. Both came in the second inning. Ethan English still at first. Next pitch is foul tipped off the bat of Collins, and Ethan English thought it just got away. He was hustling hard to second base, and umpire in the field has to tell him to retreat back and catch your breath again. Dalton Smith, the assistant coach for the Chinooks, at the first base side. Again, John Groth, the third base coach and head coach for the Chinooks. 1-2 count, 1 out for Collins at the plate. The next pitch from Becker on the delivery. Off speed, not chased, and a good at bat here from Collins. Good job holding up there. Big 2-2 pitch coming. Way inside, full count awaiting. Again, Collins walking in the second. A big gap between left center field. If he can place one there, Ethan English has a chance to come around for a second time today and extend this lead for the Chinooks. And fouled directly back. Good job by Collins. Swung hard. Ethan English just a few steps off of first base when he gets his lead. Not necessarily anything big that Joey Becker might try and pick him off with. Not really worried about him here. Just trying to get a ground ball double play to end this inning for the Oilers. The 3-2 pitch. And it misses low for a walk. So Collins will reach for a second time today via the walk. And that brings up Joe Brazil again in the same situation where he received the RBI single into left field. Jake Collins picking up his second and third walks of the season in his 2 at-bats today. Patty McCormick on deck, into a fielder's choice play, a wacky play just 2 innings ago. We'll let you know more about that. As that's going to be hit to the left side, it's going to get through again. They're going to hold Ethan English at third base. He slips, but he'll get in. Here, Patty McCormick will be up next, and a good job this time on the second hit for Joe Brazil. He had 2 hits coming into the day in 5 games, and he's got 2 here to lead off this inning, both to the left side of the infield, out of reach of both the third baseman, Goodlow, and the shortstop, Messenger, and picked up again by Camden Vasquez. We'll pause here for a moment as there's a meeting on the mound with the bases loaded here for the Chinooks. They're trying to add to their 1-0 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. When we come back, you're listening to Chinooks Radio. Patty McCormick with the bases loaded up next here in the top of the 4th, the hometown of Hampshire, Illinois. And 5'7", 165, sophomore from Northern Illinois University, NIU. Next pitch. Ball in the dirt, good block by Villa. Keeps everybody where they are stationed on their respective bases. Ethan English at third base. Got hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. Jake Collins at second base drew a walk. And then Joe Brazil at first base after singling again for the second straight time today to left field. Trevor Cho on deck. Patty McCormick trying to produce a run here. Bunt shown. Bunted up in the air, and that's going to be an out as it comes down on the infield fly. And unfortunately for the Chinooks, Trevor Cho is up next, which is a good thing, but they bunt out into right directly back to the pitcher. So not going to be able to get a run there. And now the head coach comes out, Kyle Brown, for an argument with the home plate umpire. That was a quick meeting. As the bases still are loaded here, Trevor Cho up next, grounded out to second base in his first at bat. First pitch is laced to right center field, but popped up, and this might end the inning and strand the bases loaded here as the out is made by the right fielder Damon Keith. The Chinooks unable to add to the lead as it's 1-0. When we come back for the bottom of the 4th inning, Chinooks strand the bases loaded. Bobby Goodlow, the third baseman for the Oilers, up next to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. Chinooks unable to bring in a run, an insurance run with the 1-0 lead in the top half of this inning. Unfortunately, Patty McCormick pops up a bunt with one out, and then Trevor Cho flies out to right field to end the inning. Ball one from Trevor McGee here to Goodlow, who grounded out to second base to end the bottom of the first inning. And that pitch will go in to tie the count up at 1-1 on the strike on the outside part of the plate. The freshman from Texas Christian University, Goodlow, a .308 hitter. And he'll foul that back. 1-2 count advantage to McGee here. Still no strikeouts for either team. And Troy Hervey out to retrieve it, the assistant coach and pitching coach for the Chinooks. Goodlow has had 4 hits and 1 run scored. One of his 4 hits was a double. That came against the Chinooks. Ground ball to the left side. 2-hopper, fielded. Throw to first base on the air. Throw, a stretch, and he's going to be safe on the infield single. Goodlow runs well, and Joe Brazil played it by staying back on it. You got to come get the ball there, and unfortunately for the Chinooks, the Oilers lead off the inning with a single.
Number 28,
here in the fourth, brings up Damon Keith, who singled himself in the second inning. Bobby Goodlow with speed has stolen one base, a pickoff attempt over, safely sliding in. The Oilers rocking the all whites today with red numbering and red helmets, and the Chinooks the reverse with gray pants and red jerseys. Big swing and a miss. Jake Collins came up ready to throw. He's on high alert behind the plate. Drew Thorpe on deck. Pickoff attempt there, and a good job by Ethan English. Silas, the first base umpire, jumping out of the way of it in case it came his direction. He's on high alert as well. The delivery home is off speed, hit to center field. Jess Davis is on it. Will make the catch on the line out for the first out of the inning off the bat of Keith. Hit well, just caught him out in front, trying to poke one to center field. So that'll retire the right fielder for the Oilers. Drew Thorpe grounded out to Trevor McGee in the second inning. McGee's turned 2 double plays. That was back in his first appearance, and now here in this one, he's trying to get one to end this inning. Another pickoff attempt, safely sliding up and dirtying up the uniform again is Goodlow. Drew Thorpe will take strike one at the bottom half, a native of Utah. Left-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Oilers. Next pitch, Goodlow staying put, and it's fouled directly back at some of the fans here who kind of freaked out a little bit with the net in front of them. Where the ball was directed, the first row did not move, but the row behind them jumped. They're farther back, and it wasn't even their direction. Right now, it says that on the scoreboard, the Oilers are beating the Chinooks 96-1, but that's not actually the case. Hit to the left side, past the glove of Pate Fullerton on the base hit. Runners on first and second now here in the inning, and it shows that 95 of those runs, all 96 of those runs came in the bottom of this inning.
Now batting number 13, Victor Carlino.
I think at some point, if that was the case, the other team might just either an arm would fall off from the pitching staff or you would just forfeit. Third hit now for the Oilers, and that's counting down in 5s on the scoreboard. Opposite field base hit brings up Victor Carlino, who lined out to left field in his first at bat. First pitch here, he'll pop it up and out of play on the left side of the field.
This ball brought to you by Michael and Diana Tice.
Carlino, 21-year-old junior from Long Beach State, coming out of Lakeside, California. Runners at first and second. Pops it up on the infield. In foul territory, Ethan English will take a few steps. He's underneath it and goes back and makes the catch. That'll be the second out of the inning, and a good job at that. Paul Stephenson flew out to right field to lead off the third inning. He's up. It brings up Paul Stephenson, the center fielder, who has a lot of speed. He's got runners on first and second now, and for the second inning in a row, the Chinooks trying to get out of it and keep that 1-0 lead moving into the next inning. Top of the order would come back around in the top of the fifth for the Chinooks. The next pitch, curveball, missing inside for ball one. Good leadoff pitch from Trevor McGee. Just happens to miss a little too inside the front door. And that pitch will miss upstairs on the fastball. Moves the count in advantage of Paul Stephenson with the 2-0. Stephenson, the first time these two teams played, had a productive day and scored a run. Had a double and a single in his first two at-bats, as well as in his last, an RBI single. The delivery home. Lace down the left field line, going to go foul and bounce right in front of the bullpen.
This foul ball brought to you by Jonas Brothers.
Right-hander warming up in the bullpen as well. We'll let you know who that is when we get a chance. A right-hander warming up. 2-1 count, 2 outs. Looks to be Hannes Kindreich. Patty McCormick working out at second base. Couple looks by McGee. The delivery home is off speed off the plate. 3-1 count. Can't afford to walk a runner here and face the 9-hole Jonathan Villa, but both Villa and Stevenson have been out today. And Stevenson, if you give him too good of a pitch here, he can definitely make you pay for it. The Oilers trying to bring in a run to tie this ball game. It's 1-0. Trevor Cho in left field, in the outfield straight away here. Fastball just off the plate for a walk, and it must have been a few millimeters outside. That'll load the bases, and it'll bring up Jonathan Villa, the catcher. Third walk given up by Trevor McGee. And Villa will make the short walk over. Villa capped one to McGee in his first at-bat. Villa playing in his first game today, I believe. Has no stats for him in the ABL. His first pitch here is off the plate for ball one. And Chris Beck will come out, the pitching coach for the Chinooks. We'll pause here for a moment. Bases loaded. When we come back for the Oilers, they're knocking on the door with their 9-hole catcher, Jonathan Villa. McGee coming set here after the meeting is adjourned. The 1-0 pitch, low and inside, ball two. 2-0 count, 2 outs. Quick update for you. It's a 2-1 lead for the Bucks over the Miners in the bottom of the fifth inning. McGee's next pitch. And that's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Good pitch. Villa shaking his head there. Want to go right back to it here. Trevor Cho playing a few steps closer to the infield. Expecting a weak fly ball into left. The next pitch. Cap foul. Went inside. Was going to be ball three, but got a little help from Villa. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Can Trevor McGee get out of this one? Got out of it once with the runners on first and second. Can he get out of it here with the bases loaded? McGee comes. McGee gets the pitch he wants. Via choking up a little, and the delivery. Capped foul once again. 2-2 count ensuing for a third straight time. McGee trying to win the battle here with the 1-0 lead and can try and keep the lead moving into the fifth inning of play. And the pitch. And that must have missed somewhere, but it's going to work a full count here with 2 outs. Runners will be moving, and you got to find a way to get a strike across here and help your defense, let your defense help you. And the next pitch. And it's dribbled foul down the first base line. All runners will have to go back. A base hit will definitely bring in 2, might even bring in 3. That's what the Oilers are looking for, but Jonathan Villa from the plate. Trevor McGee looking for an out any way he can get it here. Full count, 2 outs. McGee, a long look in. 2 hits and 1 walk in the inning. The next pitch. Captain to the second baseman, Patty McCormick, stays down on it. The throw to first, and he's out. Chinooks will get out of it and strand the bases loaded for the Oilers as it's a 1-0 lead. We're moving to the top of the fifth. Boy, that could have been disastrous. But good hop to Patty McCormick and a great job by Trevor McGee to avoid the 2 singles and walk from Bobby Goodlow, Drew Thorpe, and Paul Stevenson. When we come back, it'll be the top of the order, Jess Davis, Brandon Cody, and Hayden Keller for a third time around trying to produce an insurance run. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Jess Davis, Brandon Cody, and Hayden Keller, the center fielder, right fielder, and designated hitter to lead off here in the top of the fifth inning. The Chinooks avoid disaster and potentially giving up the lead in the last inning, stranding the bases loaded for the Oilers, and the top of the order coming back around here as Jess Davis will face the left-hander Eric Reardon. Joey Becker's day is done, gave up 1 hit by pitch in 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. First pitch here is low, as it'll miss downstairs for ball 1. Jess Davis, Brandon Cody, and Hayden Keller, the first 3 guys, uncharacteristically without a hit through 2 full rounds. But now coming a third time around, they'll try and get one here. The pitch is going to be hit to the right side, going to be a play for the second baseman, and for the second time today, Just Davis grounds out to the second baseman, but has hit the ball there all 3 times.
Now batting number 18.
Reached by an error from Carlino in the 3rd inning, and he'll ground out for the first out of this one. Brandon Cody up next to face the left-hander Reardon. Eric Reardon, a New Jersey native at North Brunswick, popped up out of play on the first base side.
This foul ball brought to you by Ron
Eric in his junior year from Rutgers University, 6'5", 215 frame. So far this season. Bunch shown, and he did go around. A couple hard steps from Goodlow at third base, but he stayed put. Was looking for a push bunt, actually, for Brandon Cody. Just try and get it past Reardon and beat it out at first base. Has a lot of speed as the right fielder, but he'll have to work an 0-2 count against him. 1 out, a 1-0 lead for the Chinooks. Reardon, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 runs given up. And did go around. He's going to run around as it's going to be a drop third strike. Good throw from Villa. And the second out, first strikeout today. As this one goes against Brandon Cody. Hayden Keller up next, a lefty-on-lefty matchup awaiting. Some more stats for you for Reardon. He has all 5 runs he's given up have been earned. 5 walks and 4 strikeouts, just now picking up his 5th, a 9 ERA. In his 5 innings, ties the second highest of 9 for Jonathan Carlos as well. Carlos pitched the first time these two teams met up. 1-0 count as it missed inside from the left-hander. Reardon's windup and the pitch. And a check swing from Hayden Keller as he goes around, foul tips it. Reardon, not a traditional windup, just steps backwards with 1 foot. A ball that just goes fair, and it'll tail foul as it's picked up by Goodlow at third base. He took a couple hard steps, realized that on the jam pitch to Hayden Keller, it was going to roll foul right off the grass. If that stays on the lip, it's a base hit. We've already seen one of those today, and it was from the 2-hole for the Oilers' Camden Vasquez, the first hit of the ball game back in the first. And I guess he broke his back as Keller will have to come back out. Going to have to make that one into something special later. As Brandon Cody dissects it in the dugout. 1-2 pitch awaiting. Capped foul. Good pitch by Hayden Keller just to fight it off here in the top of the 5th. Davis grounded out to lead off the inning to second baseman. Brandon Cody struck out swinging for the first strikeout today from the Oilers. No strikeouts from the pitching staff of the Chinooks. And now we are currently here as that's up and inside. Little chin music for Hayden Keller to tie the count up at 2-2. About an hour and 18 minutes into the ball game, and we're in the 5th inning. Game flying by here in the 1-0 ball game. Chinooks leading the Oilers. Ethan English has led off 2 innings in a row. Hayden Keller trying to get on base here. And he'll strike out looking as it's 2 strikeouts for Eric Reardon since coming in relief for Joey Becker. We'll move to the bottom half of the 5th inning as a new pitcher will come in. It's Hannes Kindreich, I believe. We'll let you know for sure when we come back. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Top of the order coming back around, Skylar Messenger, Camden Vasquez, and Jaden Fine. The third time around for the Oilers as they are matching here in the bottom of the fifth. It's a 1-0 ball game. The Chinooks leading on the road, but matching the same leadoff spots and the same situation basically for a third time around where we saw it in the top of the fifth. First pitch here from Hannes Kindreich in relief. Trevor McGee did not get a strikeout in his 4 innings of pitching, but gave up 4 hits, no runs. Pops it up on the second pitch to him. It's shallow center field, and Pate Fullerton on it will make the catch. The shortstop for the Chinooks. So Skylar Messenger out for a second time today, had a walk back in the third. Now brings up Camden Vasquez, who had a single in the first, a walk in the third, and he's up trying to get retired for the first time today. McGee also gave up 3 walks and no runs. And the first pitch here from Kindreich is ball 1 off the plate. Honus out of Medford, Oregon, a 6'4", 230 junior from Biola University, one of 3 players from Biola. Next pitch is going to miss the top of the zone 2-0 count. Kindreich, an 0-1 record coming in. And that pitch is outside. 3-0 count to the left-hander. Got to find a way to work back in this at-bat after getting the leadoff pop-out from Messenger. And that's a good strike on the outside part of the plate. Kindreich making his third relief appearance in 4 innings. 5 hits given up, 5 runs, 2 of which were earned, and a walk here. That is the 4th walk given up by Kindreich. Has 4 strikeouts as well as 450 earned run average against him. So Camden Vasquez reaches for a third time today. 2nd walk. He's on again, and Camden Vasquez has given the Chinooks trouble every time he's come up, basically in the 2 games so far this season. Hitting well above 600 against the Chinooks so far. Pops it up and out of play directly above us behind home plate. And that'll ring through a vehicle behind us. Jaden Fine up next. Grounded out to first base in the first and third base back in the third. Double play in order. Vasquez has speed. A stolen base already in the ballgame. Grounded to first base. Fielded by English. Bobbled. He'll pick it up, step on first base again for the fielder's choice out. And it'll bring up Bobby Goodlow. So 2 outs in the inning. And Bobby Goodlow, a single in the 4th. Led off the 4th inning with the single. 1-0 lead. Chinooks trying to maintain it. For a third time today, the Oilers have a runner in scoring position. Can the Chinooks get out of it? Bobby Goodlow stands in the left-hander's batter's box. Pate Fullerton retreats back into position. Strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. Good fastball from Hannes. He can be right around the high 80s to the low 90s. Has touched 91 already this season. Kindreich, next pitch is going to miss off the plate. 1-1 count with 2 outs here. Scoreboard reading 3, but there are only 2. Chinooks trying to get that 3rd out. Pop out to lead off the inning by Skylar Messenger to Pate Fullerton in shallow center field. And then Camden Vasquez walked. He's out at second. Jaden Fine, the fielder's choice, unassisted ground out to first base. Delivery home. Off the plate again. 2-1 count. Chinooks scored 1 run in the 2nd, and the Oilers have yet to so far. Pate Fullerton working out at second base. And the delivery home from Kindrike. Laced up and out of play on the third base side. We'll work a 2-2 count. Bobby Goodlow singling to left field in his last at bat. Looking for another one here. Fullerton back into position. The pitch from Kindrike. Fouled back and out of play just over the screen behind home. Well, for a few years here at the stadium for the Oilers, there was a protective screen on foul balls that actually had a lid on the stadium, but it blew off in some rough weather about a year ago. Next pitch. Swung on, and just a piece of it. Foul tipping it off of Goodlow's foot. Goodlow in his freshman year at TCU in Fort Worth. Trying to produce a big hit. Honus Kindrike comes set. A check of Camden Vasquez at second. The next pitch missing low. Good at bat here for Goodlow. Can Honus Kindrike win it? Pick up his first strikeout in the ballgame since coming in just this inning. Fullerton retreats back to position, and the delivery home. Poked foul again. Fourth foul ball of the at bat. A great at bat for Bobby Goodlow. Over 10 pitches now. And a foul ball. Who would have guessed?
This foul ball brought to you by OSMI.
Bobby Goodlow, specifically from Godley, Texas. Played at Godley High School. Had some big at-bats this past season for TCU. In high school, was named the 7-4A offensive MVP as a sophomore and hit .495 with 24 RBIs during that campaign. Picked up an offensive MVP as a junior at the 8-4A district level. Off-speed pop-up to left field. Trevor Cho's underneath it. Calls off Pate Fullerton, and the out is made. So Goodlow pops out. Still a 1-0 lead. The Chinooks cruising here as we go to the top of the sixth inning. 5 full innings done. Good job by Honus Kindrike. Gave up one walk to Camden Vasquez, but gets the next 3 outs. We're moving to the top of the sixth inning, and it'll be Ethan English to lead off for a third time today. When we come back, you're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Ethan English to lead off this inning. He'll check swing on the first pitch from Eric Reardon, who's been lights out since coming in. Back in the 5th inning. Joey Becker started the game, and so far Reardon has 2 strikeouts. He's trying to get a third. Ethan English here to lead off this inning. Ball is smashed to left center field. That's going to be potential extra bases. Ethan English is hustling to second base. He's trying to get there. Will he have it? He does. A leadoff double for Ethan English, who's been on all 3 times today. A single in the 2nd, a hit by pitch in the 4th, and now here in the 6th inning, he has a leadoff double that he smashes to left center field. Good job by the left fielder Camden Vasquez to pick it up, try to get it in quickly, hit the cutoff of Skylar Messenger, but Ethan English was thinking 2 out of the box all the way, and he picks up the 4th hit for the Chinooks. That's a big swing right there. Pate Fullerton up next, lined out to center in his 2nd at bat. He had a sac bunt back in the 2nd inning. Bunt shown, laid down the third base side. It's going to go foul, picked up by Villa. Ethan English moving over, but he'll have to retreat back and reset with the 0-1 count. Fullerton wants to get a sac bunt down, but he also wants to reach here, try and keep this inning going with Jake Collins up next, who's been on both times today with a walk. Next pitch from Reardon here in the lefty on lefty matchup. Scooped up, ball 1. 1-1 count, no outs. No one warming up in the bullpen for either team. Oilers like where Reardon's at right now, as do the Chinooks with Hannes Kindreich. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, laced down the right field line. That's going to fall in fair. Ethan English hustling to second. That's going to be extra bases for Pate Fullerton. He'll hold up at second base, and a double for Pate Fullerton. That's his 3rd double and 3rd hit this year for the Chinooks, and it comes at a good time here with no outs in the 6th inning, a 2-0 lead as Ethan English comes in for a 2nd time today with a run, and Pate Fullerton all over that pitch on the lefty on lefty matchup. Back-to-back doubles brings up Jake Collins, the catcher. Up next, Joe Brazil, the 3rd baseman, on deck. Has 2 hits today. Not bunting, foul tipped on the first pitch. Good swing from Collins, and your approach is to try and hit something to the right side of the field. You want to move over the runner, take away yourself, and 2 hits in the inning. Now, with back-to-back doubles, Ethan English, Pate Fullerton picking up the RBI. And it's popped up to the first base side. Second baseman's over on it. Will make the catch. That'll bring up Joe Brazil next, the 3rd baseman. Just got underneath it for Jake Collins. He's still trying to chase for his first hit this season. Does not have one just yet. Carlino going over and making the catch, just a few steps behind first base. Big swing from Joe Brazil. Messenger shading him towards the left side of the field, and Brazil has a big opening between 1st and 2nd. Carlino shading behind 2nd as well, trying to work with Pate Fullerton out at second base. A base hit will likely bring in Fullerton. Has very quick speed. The delivery from Reardon, and it's way out. Good job by Villa sliding over and making the grab. Chinooks already have 1 run in this inning. Ethan English led off with a double to left center field before Pate Fullerton doubled down the right field line, a few feet in fair territory. And inside, strike 2. Great pitch from Reardon. Patty McCormick on deck. Today, a fielder's choice where he reached in the 2nd, and then a pop fly to the pitcher on an attempted bunt in his last at bat back in the 4th. Here in the top of the 6th, 2-0 lead. Chinooks leading the Oilers. Next pitch. And it misses low. 2-2 count. Good take from Brazil. And a good take again from Brazil as it bounces in the dirt. Great block from Villa. Full count awaiting, 1 out. First base is open. That does leave Reardon to potentially throw any pitch he wants here, but all the same, I think he's trying to get a fastball in to Brazil. Joe Brazil hard out today as he's got 2 singles, an RBI single in the second, the single back in the fourth. The next pitch. And it's ball 4. So Brazil is on for a third time today. Patty McCormick comes up next with 1 out in the inning. Trevor Cho on deck.
Now batting number 5, Patty McCormick.
Warming up in the bullpen now for the Oilers. Still silent and no action in the bullpen for the Chinooks. McCormick, a great bunter, just happened to bunt one up in his last at bat with the bases loaded, trying to get a safety squeeze in with the bases loaded just in the fourth inning, and unfortunately Chinooks couldn't add a run in that inning. Have had opportunities for both teams, and both teams able to minimize it. Off the plate, ball 1, good take, 1-1 count, 1 out, and everybody will look down the third base line at the head coach, John Grote, to see if he's going to give any signs. Does not there, just gives a clap. Third baseman Goodlow playing back. Pete Fullerton takes off in the dirt, and a great jump. Both runners will move up. Late jump from Joe Brazil, but it squeaked away from Villa. And a good job moving up there. I think Fullerton might have actually had the sign down and read the ball in the dirt. Took off before it. Patty McCormick with runners on first and second here. The corners will move in, and the middle infield going to take a couple steps in, just trying to get the out with Fullerton here. Next pitch. Ball misses up, 3-1 count, 1 out. You'd like to have Trevor Cho, who's got a few RBIs this season, come to the plate with the bases loaded. Let's see if McCormick can either produce an RBI single or just an RBI at that and need to get another run in this inning. Missing low and outside, ball 4. So back-to-back walks for Joe Brazil and Patty McCormick brings up Trevor Cho. Bases are loaded now, and we're going to pause here for a moment as we've got a meeting on the mound. Bases loaded again. We're moving into the top of the 6th still with a 1 out and bases loaded. You've got Joe Brazil at second base, Patty McCormick at first base, and at third is Pate Fullerton. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Well, the meeting with the assistant coach is over with. I believe that's Ryan Duran as he goes back to the dugout. 1 out in the inning, bases loaded a second time today. The next pitch on the corner of the plate. Good pitch from Reardon for strike 1, lefty on lefty matchup. Middle infield is back. Goodlow even with the bag at third base, and got to put something in play here. Low, 1-1 count. Jess Davis, the leadoff on deck, has grounded out to second base 3 times, but reached one of those with the error from Victor Carlino. Outfield's taken a few steps in as well. Good time for Trevor Cho to get his first base hit. He'll take a check swing, does not go around, 2-1 count. Try to work the off-speed. Good job by Villa sliding over. A big backstop. Runners will move up and for sure score a run if a ball gets past. Reardon comes set. The delivery home. Big swing and the pitch was low. 2-2 count, 1 out. Trevor Cho looking for a pitch here that he can handle and put in play. Maybe lift something to the outfield as Reardon comes set. Bases loaded again. Next pitch, struck out swinging on the pitch that missed well off the plate. A good off speed for Reardon. Good job by Villa, and we got 2 outs on the big strikeout. Third strikeout for Reardon brings up Jess Davis. Base is still loaded, and the head coach, Kyle Brown, is out. We'll have a new pitcher. As Reardon's day is done, he's going to leave with the bases loaded here in the top of the sixth. One run is in. It's 2-0. When we come back, we'll let you know who the new pitcher is. Well, Calvin Ferris going to come in to pitch here in relief for the Oilers. He's going to come in a big spot. It's the bases loaded. The right-hander facing off against Jess Davis, the center fielder, which is interesting to not try and keep Reardon in there for one more guy. Ferris first pitch to Jess Davis. Ground ball back up the middle. It's going to hit off of him. Going to be a tough play at second, tough play at first. He's safe at first base. That's an RBI base hit. The slide into home and the throw over to third base. 2 runs are in. And that's going to be a tag out, but 2 runs are in. Good job. As runners are moving over, Patty McCormick going to get in a rundown, trying to advance to third base on the throw and make the out at third base. But a 4-0 ball game as Jess Davis picks up 2 RBIs. And so that'll be the 6th hit in the inning, and it was a tough play for Messenger up the middle, but the first hit for Jess Davis today. It's 4-0 when we come back for the bottom of the 6th inning. Hannes Kindreich and the defense coming back out. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Hannes Kindright back out after last inning, gave up one walk, but no strikeouts, no hits, no runs so far. He's going to be facing off against Damon Keith, Drew Thorpe, and Victor Carlino to start off this inning, the right fielder, designated hitter, and second baseman, respectively. Curveball first pitch, strike one on the front door. And that'll be a 50-footer as Hannes Kindright laughs it off and tried to work in the curveball in the outside corner this time. Instead, it ties the count up at 1-1. In the dirt as well off the plate, and so that'll work it as a 2-1 count. Jess Davis with 2 outs, able to produce 2 runs, bringing in Pate Fullerton as well as Joe Brazil coming around to score. And way inside. 3-1 count. Big swing, pops it up on foul territory, and it's out of play. Good job by Hannes Kindright. He's trying to win the full count battle here with no outs in the inning. Does not want to give up the leadoff walk. Big pitch awaiting on the delivery. And strike 3 as he swings through it. Good job by Jake Collins to hang on to it. And Damon Keith out for the second time today. Drew Thorpe up next. First strikeout by any Chinook pitcher today. We'll get Damon Keith just right on the outside part of the plate, right underneath it, swinging. Drew Thorpe up next. Thorpe, a two-way guy. Hit a single into left field in the 4th, and a ground out to the pitcher, Trevor McGee, who started off this game. And the 2-0 pitch, as that one's off the plate, will be up next. 1 out. Big strikeout for Hannes Kindright. Pick up his first in the ball game. Big swing there by Thorpe. Give a little soccer-style kick with the right foot to Jake Collins. Pick up the ball. Two-one pitch. And fouled up and out of play. Ties the count up, and Kindright for a second at bat in a row. Working behind here, but getting even and trying to win the battle here. Doing a great job not trying to just giving up 4-1 and way out their advantage counts. Now it's a full count again for the second at bat in a row. Payoff pitch. 4-0 the score. And it's popped up into left field. Trevor Cho a few steps to his right. He'll go to the line, a step in fair territory for the fly out to left field. That's the second out of the inning. Victor Carlino up next. Well, the way that this pitcher, Hannes Kindright, is going, you'd like for him to take strides if he can continue this every inning towards finishing off this ball game. Save some pitching, as you do have 6 games down here in Kenai in 5 days. Another game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Another every single day, and then 2 on Saturday, 1 final game on Sunday before the Chinooks head out. Check swing did go around anyways. Strike 1 to the left-handed hitting second baseman Victor Carlino. Carlino 0 for 2 today. A line out to left field in his first at-bat back in the second inning, and then a foul fly ball to Ethan English in the 4th. And strike 2, fastball paints the inside part of the plate. Hannes Kindright tired of working behind. He works ahead here. The 0-2 pitch here in a moment. Can the Chinooks go 3 up, 3 down against the Oilers for a second time today? Excuse me, for a first time today. Ground ball to first base side, foul, out of reach of the first base coach. I believe that is Rolando Sanchez, one of the assistant coaches on the first base side. And if you're going to miss with a pitch, you want to miss way up and way out, and he will there. Quick update for you. The Miners are trailing the Bucks right now, 2-1 in the 6th inning. And the 1-2 pitch. Off speed. Try to work a changeup to get a strikeout. Instead, it will tie the count up at 2-2. Outs in the inning for Honest Kendrike. It's 4-0 when we come back for the final 3 innings of play. Good pitch by Kendrike will get Keith and Carlino swinging. Carlino to end the inning. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. We'll be back in a moment. Calvin Ferris back out after giving up 1 hit in the last inning and came in for 1 pitch. Just Davis hitting a base hit up the middle, but a good play by Messenger. 2 runs coming in to score on the long throw over. John Groth trying to bring in an extra runner there with the bases loaded, and he does. It worked out in his favor. Capped foul, and that'll work a 0-2 count here to Brandon Cody. Brandon Cody for the Chinooks, 167 hitter, 4 hits so far this season. He's 0 for 3 today. A dummy shake a few times from Calvin Ferris, and he's going to step off, reset. Didn't get the pitch he liked. And strike 3 as Brandon Cody goes down swinging for a second straight time. Just chasing a pitch low and away.
Now batting number 12,
Hayden Keller up next. Keller due for a base hit. He's 0 for 3 as well. Grounded to second base in the first. Grounded ball double play to third base back in the third. And then now here in the fifth, he struck out looking, and now in the 7th where we are at. 1 out in the inning, 4-0 lead for the Chinooks over the Oilers. Got 3 runs last inning, 1 run in the 2. Spot back in that inning. Lace in the left field, that'll be a base hit. So Hayden Keller with his 9th hit of the season so far in 6 games. Just a line single into left field. Took the fastball away there. And Ethan English, who's been hot today, he's got a single in the 2nd, a hit by pitch in the 4th, and a double in the 6th. Came around to score 2 runs today. So far, the MVP in this game. Pate Fullerton on deck. Had the RBI double in his last at-bat back in the 6th. Time called at the plate. Home plate umpire granting Ethan English it. He'll step out, look down at the bat, readjust his batting gloves, and we'll reset. Runner at first base, Hayden Keller with the single. 6th hit for the Chinooks. Ferris coming set. Pickoff attempt over to first. Close play at first. The tag laid down by the first baseman, Jaden Fine, but sliding in safely and dirtying up the gray pants is Hayden Keller. trying to get to second base any way that he can. And chopped foul down the third base line. Off the bat of Ethan English.
This foul ball brought to you by Harvey's.
And I don't say this often, but I didn't really see a pause right there from Calvin Ferris. That's a balk if he doesn't pause. You got to have a pause in your motion. Need to make sure. For these umpires, it's tough out there where the umpire in the field is stationed. 0-1 count, no outs. Pause there, popped up and out of play on the curveball that he hung up in the air, and so he'll go way ahead here. Pate Fullerton awaiting his next at bat, a four-time around. One out in the inning, 4-0 the score. Big gap between first and second. Ferris coming set. And the delivery, high leg kick. Off speed, and it'll catch Ethan English out in front. Strikeout number 2 in the inning. Ethan English going down for the first time today. Pate Fullerton up next as the shortstop. See if Hayden Keller tries to take off at any point in this at-bat. Calvin Ferris does have a high leg kick. And a pickoff attempt over again. Keller sliding back in safely. And the first pitch to Pate Fullerton off the plate. Ferris, a one inning coming in of pitching. A strikeout in that inning, a 0 ERA. He'll come set, the delivery. That's caught by V on the outside corner. Kind of brings it in a little, but called strike on the outside part of the plate. Collins waiting on deck. A 1-1 count, 1 out. Hayden Keller at first base. The delivery, check swing from Pate Fullerton. Strike 2 anyways. A lot of kids roaming around here that are Oilers fans here at Oilers Stadium. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses up and away. Might see an off-speed pitch from Calvin Ferris here. And this would be the prime time to try and steal if you're Hayden Keller. Try and get on the move, awaiting an off-speed pitch. The delivery home. Chop to the right side. 2-hopper for Victor Carlino. Quick throw over to first base will catch Fullerton out for a second time today. And so just like that, the 1-out single from Hayden Keller is stranded. It's 4-0 when we come back. The defense coming back out for the Chinooks into the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinooks Radio on YouTube.com. Paul Stevenson, the center fielder, back up next. Jonathan Villa on deck, and Skylar Messenger, the third batter around for a fourth time, coming back around here as the leadoff hitter for the Oilers. Paul Stevenson, the center fielder, has a walk back in the fourth, and then after that, it was in the third where he flew out to right field. 0-1 count from the first pitch from Hannes Kindreich. So far, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk given up. Delivery home, curveball hits the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Three up, 3 down inning by Kindreich in the defense for the Chinooks last inning. Fastball right back to Kindreich, in and out of his glove. He'll flip it over underhand to first base for out number 1. Just not the day for Paul Stevenson he had last time with 3 hits, 2 singles, and a double, as well as an RBI. Ground out to the pitcher for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jonathan Villa 0 for 2 today, and he'll take strike 1 on the outside corner. Villa, a ground out to McGee, the pitcher who started this ballgame back in the 3rd, and then a ground out to second base with Patty McCormick to end that 4th inning. 0-1 pitch, big swing, strike 2. Right-hander in the bullpen for the Oilers is just stretching. And just a pitch that misses upstairs and off the plate for ball 1. Just saying, take me out to the ball game as the 7th inning stretch. And in and out of the glove of Jake Collins on the foul tip. Villa able to get a piece of it. Again, Villa coming out of Ensenada, Mexico, 5'9", 200 catcher in his junior year at Faulkner Faulkner College. One-two count awaiting. Strike 3. Kindreich picking up his second out of the inning on a strikeout from Villa. He's down for 3 times today. Brings up the top of the order, Skylar Messenger. Flew out to left field in the 1st. A pop out in the 5th, and he has walked as well. First batter Kindreich faced in that 5th inning, and Pate Fullerton was all over it in center field. Ran over and caught it in shallow center from shortstop position. That ricochets in the dirt off of the right cleat of Jay Collins. And the head coach for the Oilers, Kyle Brown, out to retrieve it. 4-0 lead here with 7 outs left in the ballgame. Hit on the end of the bat to right field. Brandon Cody underneath it will make the catch for the 3rd and final out. 7 straight outs, retired by Hannes Kindreich. We'll be back in a moment. The Chinooks trying to add to their 4-0 lead as we go to the top of the 8th inning. 4-0 the score, entering into the final 2 innings of play. Top of the 8th we go. 6 hits for the Chinooks. And 2, I believe 3 actually for the Oilers. Oilers have not had a hit since the 4th inning. Just 1 walk in the 5th. Calvin Ferris still out on the mound. Has been pitched pretty well, giving up 1 hit in either inning. Has 2 strikeouts in his favor. Hit the left center field, and that's going to be a tough play by the left fielder. It bounces in front of him, and hustling over to second base, and going to reach here. On the double to lead off the inning is Jake Collins. Jake Collins, with his first hit of the ABL season, is a double to left center field.
Number 8, Joe Brazil.
Joe Brazil up next, and Brazil having a day as well, as reached every time he's come up. A walk last at bat, a single in the 4th, and an RBI single back in the 2nd. He has scored a run as well. 2nd inning today, where the Chinooks have started off with a double. Back in the 5th, Ethan English doubled to left center field. Pitch here is hit hard to center field. That's going to fall in, and they're going to hold Collins out at left field. Hustling to second base is Joe Brazil. He's going to get there on the error by the center fielder. He short hopped the first baseman, and so that's going to go against Stephenson on the throw. Moves up Brazil. We'll see if that goes as a 3rd error. I believe we might see Mason Corbett. He's going to come and pinch hit for Patty McCormick. So for a 3rd time today, a single for Joe Brazil. Moves runners to 2nd and 3rd as the throw is moved up.
Mason Corbett.
3rd error by the Oilers today, as it's going to unfortunately go for the Oilers against Paul Stephenson. Just a short hop to the first baseman, Jaden Fine, unable to pick it, and it moves Joe Brazil up to second base. Runners on 2nd and 3rd now. On the 8th hit, fastball misses away to Mason Corbett. Mason Corbett has reached safely in every game he's played in, but he's going to have to pinch hit here. Try and pick up an RBI. Second baseman Carlino is playing back. Might just try and get a ground ball over there and pick up an RBI for yourself. The pitch here. Strike 1. Ties the count up. 1-1 count. No outs. Trevor Cho, the 9-hole on deck. Corbett's next pitch from Calvin Ferris. And it's inside, strike 2. Corbett trying to be a tough out here. Needs to put something in play. Collins needs to make sure on a ground ball that it gets past the pitcher and that he gets a good jump. The 1-2 pitch awaiting from Ferris. Inside, almost hit Mason Corbett. Instead, he'll lunge backwards. Corbett has had a walk in every game he's played in. Third highest average at .333, tied with Daniel Freeman, who's not in this game. And strike 3 there on the outside corner, as Corbett just tries to foul it off, and he'll go down swinging here for the first out of the inning. Trevor Cho up next, the left fielder, and we're going to have a pinch hitter for him as well. It's going to be J. Paul Fullerton. He'll get a high five from Trevor Cho, coming in a big spot. J. Paul Fullerton, 1 out.
Pinch hitting for number 9, Trevor Cho.
J. Paul Fullerton, a big RBI double down the right field line in the game yesterday, and the infield going to come in. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Joe Brazil out at 2nd, singled to center field, and a double from Collins at third base, as that's a pitch that misses off the plate for ball one. On deck is Jess Davis, singled and had a two-run RBI single back in the sixth, 2 innings ago. Fullerton trying to put one to the outfield here. Maybe bring in 2 runs. Big swing and good off speed on the outside corner, 1-1 count. Fullerton coming in, a 143 hitter, but has 2 hits this season. One's the double from yesterday, and is really just heating up over the last few games. 2 walks in his favor, 2 RBIs. Trying to pick up the big third here. Inside, ball 2, 2-1 count advantage for the catching Chinook. We saw Daniel Freeman up and warming in the bullpen for the Chinooks an inning ago, the left-hander who pitched well yesterday. See if Hannes Kindreit comes back out in the 8th. Pops it up, and just behind home plate, Villa going back. It's going to just stay in play and ricochet off of the screen as it's dropped. 2-2 count again, and Fullerton will stay alive as Jess Davis brings him his mask for Villa, showing off the sportsmanship. Chinooks, a Christian-based program working with Athletes in Action Baseball. Evangelizing as well at the same time while playing baseball. Runners on second and third. Started out with no outs, but big strikeout against Mason Corbett. J. Paul Fullerton looking to put something in play, try and squeak it through the infield, maybe bring in 2 runs. 2 big insurance runs needed by the Chinooks here. And inside, ball 3. Close pitch for Ferris. He has first base open, but you don't want to face Jess Davis on deck with the bases loaded. So trying to get an out here. Fullerton awaiting the next pitch. Ferris coming set. The payoff pitch. Full count, 1 out. Pops it up and out of play. He'll get out just over the third base side.
This ball brought to you by Essex Brewery.
And hits off one of the vehicles. Second vehicle we've heard get dinged up tonight. Fortunately, there's nowhere else to park here. Three-two pitch again for the second time. And it's in the dirt. Good walk by J. Paul Fullerton. Will load the bases for Jess Davis. And so that'll put Fullerton on first. Joe Brazil still out at second base. And at third base with 1 out here in the inning is Jay Collins. Jay Collins doubled. And a single from Brazil for the 3rd time today, as well as J. Paul Fullerton, the walk. First pitch to Jess Davis here. Missing low, ball 1. Well, you got Jess Davis will be patient here. He came in first pitch against Ferris. Ferris's first batter hit a single up the middle, brought in 2 runs, and it was an infield single at that. Off the plate, 2-0 count. Brandon Cody on deck. Struck out twice in his last 2 at-bats, but he's 0 for 4 today. He'd like to come up with just a 1-out situation if Jess Davis can keep the inning alive. Bring in a few runs. The 2-0 pitch. And that misses low. 3-0 count. Ferris shaking his head. Thought that one was a strike on the bottom half. And likely Jess Davis going to be taking all the way here with the bases loaded. Ferris will try and work in a strike. Fullerton walked. on a good at bat in his last one. And the payoff pitch, ground ball back to Fullerton, throw to second base. Double play in order, and it is going to be a double play to end the inning as Jess Davis was swinging 3-0 as a pitch. It was going to be ball 4 inside, and unfortunately Chinooks will hit into a double play to get out of the inning, and Oilers luck out there with Calvin Ferris, who fielded it through to Messenger at second base, and that's one where you're confused why you're swinging, but instead it's 4-0 again. The leadoff double from Collins and the single from Joe Brazil to move up to third and second will not come in to score as we move to the bottom half of the 8th inning. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Honest Kendrick's day is done. It's Daniel Freeman who's up next, and Kendrick was lights out. Did not give up a single hit in 3 innings of pitching. If the Chinooks can hold on today, he'll get the win. 3 strikeouts as well. No runs and 1 walk. Lefty on lefty matchup for Goodlow. Excuse me I apologize, for Camden Vasquez. Here it's Vasquez, Fine, and Goodlow. The 2-3-4 hitters. And Daniel Freeman, a tied count up at 1-1 on the fastball there. Freeman, a two-way guy and one of the best hitters on the Chinooks team, 333 average. Second best average on the team. Has hit safely in every game he's hit in, and that's foul tipped back. Mason Corbett out at second base after relieving Patty McCormick. And Jay Collins in left field now as J. Paul Fullerton is behind the plate. The 1-2 pitch. And foul tipped it directly back again.
This foul ball brought to you by Bill Parker.
Quite a few foul balls today that we've seen on some tough pitches. Lefty on lefty matchup trying to be won here against Camden Vasquez, who's been on all 3 times today that he's come to the plate. 2 walks and a single. And that pitch misses the top of the zone. 2-2 count, no outs. The lone walk that Honus Kindrite gave up. 4-0 the score here in the 8th inning. Chinooks looking for 6 final outs. And going to jam him, but fouls it off.
This foul ball brought to you by Michael and Diana Tice.
As Vasquez able to poke it over the third base dugout. And hit off the end of the bat, up the middle for a base hit. Good swing by Camden Vasquez, and he'll start off the inning with a single. Did a great job there on a tough pitch from Freeman. Freeman, a 0-1 record coming in. Finished off the 14-inning ball game against the Pilots in that 3-1 loss, and came in the top of the 14th, gave up 2 runs. That was his first pitching outing. Yesterday we saw him, did a great job, and he's looking for a ground ball double play here. See if Vasquez tries to have a stolen base, add another one to his stat book. He's got 1 already today, and that is his first of the season. The delivery home, missing low, ball 1. Jaden Fine, the first baseman and 3-hole, up next for the 4-time round. Grounded out to first base in the 1st and 5th, as well as a ground out to third base to end the 3rd inning. 2-0 count, no outs. I believe Brian Cardone is warming up in the bullpen for the Chinooks. Saw him pitch an inning yesterday as well to close off the 9th. Vasquez staying put, popped up to right field. Ethan English going back. He's the only guy who can get there. He'll make the grab, slide into the wall, and hit the wall hard. Able to make the catch. As time's going to be called, the runner Vasquez tagging moves up to second base on the heads-up play. But boy, he's had some hard plays over there at first base today and just makes an incredible grab. Ethan English back out there. Chris Beck is out just to check on him. And Brian going to go out there, the trainer for the Chinooks, just check on him as well, just real quickly. Vasquez does move up to second base. Still a 4-0 lead on the fly out in foul territory off the bat of Jaden Fine. What a play by Ethan English, though. He's doing it on both sides today. He's the only guy who's going to be able to get there. And Ethan English waves off Brian, lets him know he's okay. Bobby Goodlow up next. Had a single in the 4th. Other than that, he's 0 for 3 as he ended the 5th inning on a flyout. Ball in the dirt. Good job by J. Paul Fullerton on ball 1 from the left-hander. Had a pretty good season for Goodlow with Texas Christian University. He started 30 of the 39 games he played in, 111 at-bats, 31 hits in those, and 15 runs scored, 5 doubles, 1 triple, no home runs, and 14 RBIs with a 279 average. And the 1-0 pitch for Daniel Freeman. And that's strike 1 on the inside part of the plate. Goodlow, the third baseman for the Horned Frogs this year. Played in some very big games. Curveball, just missing low. That'll work a 2-1 count. Very close pitch. Chinooks trying to strand Vasquez, who led off the inning with a base hit up the middle. Moved over to second on the foul fly ball. And that's going to be hit hard to center. Jess Davis underneath it. Has a good arm. Let's see if Vasquez tests it. He's not going to, as you don't want to make the third out at third base. Joe Brazil on it to cover, and Daniel Freeman backing him up. So with that, that's a fly out to center field. And it'll bring up Damon Keith, who's 0 for 2, 1 for 3 today, with a single in the second, and then was caught stealing. Hit hard off the bat of Goodlow to center field, but just got underneath it. A lot of Oilers have the Oilers clappers, the little inflated clappers you see at NBA games. Some fans have those at the baseball games tonight. Oiler made as 2 outs here in the inning. Daniel Freeman trying to get one more. The next pitch is a off-speed pitch, missing upstairs for ball 1 to Damon Keith, the right fielder. The 1-0 pitch awaiting, 2 outs. Infield looking for a final out here. And that's just missing low, 2-0 count. Thought it was a strike, but home plate umpire's been great today. He's been very consistent both ways. Had a few calls that we thought may have gone either way, borderline pitches, but the hitters today have pretty much accepted it for where it is, and he's been on top of things the whole day. 2-0 count. Next pitch is strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. And the 2-1 pitch awaiting. One of the fans yelling at his own players to just swing the bat. And that's going to hit strike 2 on the outside part of the plate. Might have been a little high. That's one of the questionable ones we've seen. 2-2 pitch, 2 outs. Vasquez at second base. Likely not going to steal here. Big pitch awaiting. The payoff pitch. And missing low. Full count, 2 outs. Daniel Freeman coming set. And the delivery home. Strike 3 will get him looking, as Vasquez will be stranded. And so we will go to the final inning of play. The Chinooks looking to add a 4-0 lead, and the home plate umpire having some words with Damon Keith. We'll let him hear about it. We'll be back in a moment as it's 4-0. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Heath Olive coming in to pitch in relief for Calvin Ferris. And the first pitch is fouled back by Brandon Cody. Brandon Cody 0 for 4 today, 2 strikeouts against him in his last 2 at-bats. And the next pitch from the right-hander is swung on and foul tipped back again. Just missing 2 good pitches. Hayden Keller waiting on deck. Ethan English would be up for a third time. He's got a smile on his face in the dugout after taking a hard foul for the first out of the last inning. Olive coming set. The 0-2 pitch awaiting. And it's way upstairs. I mean, you talk about climbing the mountain. Good catch by Villa behind the plate. 1-2 count, first ball. And Olive's next pitch. That's way inside, and Brandon Cody will move out of the way of it. And he's going to have to come over and actually retrieve the ball. Give it back to the home plate umpire. We saw Eric Reardon, who pitched in the 5th and 6th innings, came over from the dugout to try and get it. Olive comes set. Big swing and a miss. So for the third time, a big strikeout for Brandon Cody here in the 9th inning. And it'll bring up Hayden Keller, who got a single in his last at bat. 9 hits for Hayden Keller, the junior out of Minden, Nevada at Mendocino College, playing with Joe Brazil, the third baseman for the Chinooks. Ethan English on deck as it's had a big day as well. Check swing, did not go around. Actually, the home plate umpire said he did. So that'll go as strike one. It's one I don't agree with. John Groth, the head coach for the Chinooks, also didn't agree with it as he just shook his head. And that's pitch way upstairs. A 1-1 count, 1 out, 4-0 ball game. First time Olive has made it into the game as a pitcher. And that's going to go to the backstop. 2-1 count. Well, I said climb the ladder a moment ago in Brandon Cody's at bat, but that one didn't even tip glove. Two-one pitch, check swing again. 3-1, and a lot of chirping from some of the fans. I'm not sure why. That pitch was at the head of the home plate umpire. Olive definitely has some speed behind his fastball, but he's not commanding it. Ball 4, and that'll send Hayden Keller on with a walk as the first base runner in the 9th inning. Final inning of play.
Now batting number 24, Ethan English.
Ethan English up next. A single in the 2nd, double in the 6th, and then a hit by pitch in the 4th. He scored twice today. And ball 1 is upstairs. And I'm taking till I get a strike if I'm Ethan English. He says no. He's going to actually pop one out of play on the right side of the field. Realizes he may only get one fastball. Well, what do I know? I mean, just trying to swing at a pitch there. Brian Cardone, I believe, is warming up in the bullpen for the Chinooks. Smashes one into right center field, and that's going to be trouble. He's got extra bases. Hayden Keller hustling around. They're going to wave around Hayden Keller. And Ethan English going to stay put at second base. Close play at the home, and he's safe sliding in. Good job by Hayden Keller as the first base umpire came into home plate to make the call and actually hopped over Hayden Keller at home. So that's another run to add to the book. as it's 5-0 on the opposite field double from Ethan English, and he's having a day. That's your MVP of this ball game. 3 hits, 2 doubles, and a single. And Hayden Keller is going to score a run, as that is the 3rd run scored by Keller this season. 5-0 the score now, and he's out at second base for the Pate Fullerton, the shortstop for the Chinooks, left-handed batter up next. Ball 1 is upstairs and off the plate. Fullerton grounded out to second base in his last at bat, a double and an RBI in the 6th. And ball 2 is upstairs. Looks like the Oilers are going to try and finish it off with Olive on the mound. 9 hits for the Chinooks today, 3 for the Oilers. 4 for the Oilers. That's a strike on the outside part of the plate, 2-1. Olive trying to go right back to that same spot. And instead, he'll work it upstairs. Ethan English out at second. On deck is Jake Collins, who doubled in his last at-bat off of Calvin Ferris back in the 8th, just an inning ago. Joe Brazil would be up behind him, who has reached base all 4 times today, and that's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Brazil, an RBI single, and has 3 singles today, as well as a walk. The full count pitch. And it's going to be ball 4 as it misses low and inside. Close pitch at that, but it puts runners on first and second. Good walk for Pate Fullerton to keep the inning going.
Now batting number 20, Jake Collins.
3rd straight runner that has been put on by Heath Olive. Walked Hayden Keller, who came in to score a run. And that'll be a pitch that misses low off the plate for ball 1 to Jake Collins, as well as a double for Ethan English and Pate Fullerton's walk there. English's double got to the wall in right field. Off the plate and low. Good job by Villa. And a 2-0 count. Advantage to Jake Collins. Time called for Villa. No one warming up in the bullpen for the Oilers. And we'll see if they try and send somebody here. As Villa goes out to have a conversation on the mound, just laugh things off with Olive. Home plate umpires coming out. Villa trying to just get him into his best emotions, not trying to keep his head down. Olive comes set, the 2-0 pitch awaiting. And strike 1 right down the middle. So whatever Villa said worked. They might have said just throw it down the middle here. I mean, let him hit you. We're losing 5-0 here in the 9th. Just get out and get on to playing tomorrow. Big swing. Collins will swing just a little early through it. And so that's a battle with a 2-2 count against him. If I'm Olive, I'm going right back with the fastball here. Collins hasn't shown that he can catch up to it just yet. The next pitch, straight fastball off the plate for a full count. Brazil again on deck. Runners on first and second. And ball 4 misses, and so that'll be a walk again. 3rd walk in the inning, and a double as well. Pitching coach will come out. We'll pause here for a moment as it'll be Joe Brazil up with the bases loaded. He has an RBI today and has reached all 4 times.
Joe Brazil.
Joe Brazil up next, bases loaded. He has 3 hits today with an RBI and a walk. The RBI single put the Chinooks up 1-0 in the second, and currently it's 5-0 here in the 9th inning. Bases loaded, he comes up in a big spot. His first pitch, he's going to foul up, and it'll ricochet back onto the field right off the top of the backstop.
This foul ball brought to you by OSMI.
Villa will retrieve it and toss it back to his head coach, Kyle Brown. Well, Chinooks in great shape to try and tie the record of the Oilers, who are 2-3. Excuse me, who are 2-3 right now. But if they win, they'll be 2-4, and the Oilers would be 2-4 as well. That pitch is swung on by Joe, and he'll chase it high. It's an 0-2 count. Swung on, pop up to right field. That might bring in a run. Tagging from second is Fullerton. Tagging from third. And coming home is Ethan English. The throw home and the avoid of the slide, and he's safe at home. No tag laid down by Villa, as he is still safe, and so no, I never saw a call from the home plate umpire, but all the same, good job by Joe Brazil. Picks up an RBI on the sac fly.
Now batting number 15, Mason Corbett.
So Joe Brazil will finish perfect on the day, and a stolen base here for Jake Collins, as he'll move down safely to second. Sac fly and RBI plates Ethan English, his 3rd run of the ball game. And way up and way out, runners on second and third currently. A 2-0 count to Mason Corbett at the plate, who struck out after pinch hitting for Patty McCormick in the 8th. On deck, J. Paul Fullerton. He'd like to have a crack at it again. See if Mason Corbett can keep the streak up of walking in every game he comes to the plate in. And he'll take that pitch upstairs. He's got a 3-0 count. Might be on pace to do so. 6 runs now for the Chinooks. It's a 6-0 lead after 2 runs have crossed here in the 9th inning. The 3-0 pitch awaiting. And that's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Good pitch from Olive. Heath Olive coming out of Birmingham, Alabama, a junior at Faulkner. And ball 4, so he will keep the streak alive. For Mason Corbett, he's on to load the bases here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. J. Paul Fullerton up to try and pick up a few RBIs. And it looks like Kyle Brown, the head coach for the Oilers, is going to keep Olive out there just trying to figure it out. Ball 1 is at the eyes. Jess Davis on deck. And a pitcher going down to the bullpen now to warm up. Still has his hoodie on, but bases are loaded. 4 walks in the inning. Fastball down the middle, and Fullerton swings hard, but he'll swing right through it. Ties the count up at 1-1. Left fielder Cameron Vasquez shading towards the left field line. And weighing inside, as that's a little chin music for J. Paul Fullerton. 2-1 count, advantage for Fullerton here with 2 outs in the inning. Final inning of play, 6-run lead, 6-0 the score for the Chinooks over the Oilers. And foul tips back. Good job by Fullerton. Puts a good swing on it, but it'll tie the count up. Payoff pitch coming from Heath Olive. And that's going to be called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. Villa brought it back, but it'll catch Fullerton looking. So the bases are stranded, but a sac fly from Joe Brazil and a big double from Ethan English bring in 2 more runs. And Ethan English, we'll talk about him for a moment. He had a day with 3 runs scored of the 6. And then 2 doubles, a hit by pitch, and a single in the game. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball for the final inning. Chinooks had 2 more runs of insurance as it's 6-0 here in the final inning of the ball game. Last inning, Ethan English played it in Hayden Keller to come around and score off of a double to right field. And then a sac fly from Joe Brazil keeps his average perfect today at 1,000 with a walk and 3 singles and 2 RBIs. So both those guys, Ethan English and Joe Brazil, are your MVPs of the day. We'll actually talk with Ethan English after this ball game and Coach John Groth. So tune in to Twitter, and you'll be able to see those. 9-1-2 are up. Jonathan Villa, who's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout in his last at bat and 2 groundouts, 1 to the pitcher and 1 to second base. Into pitch, Brian Cardone. Daniel Freeman finished off with 1 strikeout, 1 hit given up, no walks, and no runs. And for the second time today, it's 95-6 on the scoreboard. The game would technically be over, but it's actually 6-0, the Chinooks winning. Cardone throws ball 1. The next pitch is ball 2, low and inside. Don't want to get caught up in any type of momentum, though, for the Oilers. Got to find a way to throw strikes here. A mountain of a mound out there on the playing field. And ball 3. Brian Cardone coming in here throwing 3 balls to the leadoff Jonathan Villa. Correction, I apologize. It's actually a pinch hitter for Drew Thorpe, but we just figured that out. It's actually Ethan Patrick who came in to hit for Drew Thorpe, and he didn't have to take the bat off his shoulder. 4 straight balls puts him on for a walk here in the ninth. Brian Cardone coming set. Brings up Victor Carlino. Next pitch is strike 1 at the lower third. So the Oilers elected to pinch hit for Drew Thorpe with Ethan Patrick. He walked on 4 pitches. And the next pitch here is in the dirt. Good block by J. Paul Fullerton. He loses sight of it. And so that'll be maybe a stolen base for him. Maybe a pass ball as well. It just got underneath him. So that'll go as a pass ball against J. Paul Fullerton. Victor Carlino working here as the second baseman, who's 0 for 3 today. Pops it up on the infield. Foul territory. Joe Brazil going over. Has to make a long run, and it tips off his glove. So that's new life for Carlino, and a tough break for the Chinooks. Tough play, as the wind is definitely working here, but you got to make that out. Brazil's been on fire today offensively and struggled as of late defensively, but Chinooks trying to win this one 6-0 here in the ninth. No outs, runner at second. On the corners and picked up by Fullerton behind the plate. So that'll be a single for Victor Carlino. He's on for the first time today. Brings up Paul Stephenson, who is 0 for 2 today with a walk.
Now batting number 3, Paul Stephenson.
So with that, some life for the Oilers. They're on first and third here, no outs. 3 outs needed for the Chinooks to win this one on the road. And the delivery here from Cardone, fouled directly back off the bat of Paul Stephenson. No one warming up in the bullpen for the Chinooks. Brian Cardone, coming out of Biola University. I apologize, Trinity, with Justin Fox, the two teammates from Trinity. 0-1 pitch. Caps just passed. It's Peyton Fullerton. Fields it. Throw across. Will go down. And so the single will get in, and Fullerton wants to pause here for a moment and go out to Cardone. Jammed Paul Stephenson, who's able to beat it out to first base. And so 3 guys aboard here. 6-1 the score. Chinooks still trying to get an out here and close off this game. It's Jonathan Villa up next, who's 0 for 3. Second little dinker hit that we've seen today that has worked in the favor of the Oilers, and that pitch missing upstairs for ball 1. Top of the order will come back around with Skylar Messenger on deck, but the Chinooks desperately needing an out. Foul tipped and strike 1. So a walk to lead off the inning with Ethan Patrick. His first at bat on 4 pitches, and then a single from Victor Carlino, hard hit to right field. Single from Paul Stephenson. A pass ball in there as well. And the next pitch here is way inside. Villa backs up, ties the count up at 1-1. Two on the count, I believe. No outs. The next pitch home. And that's ball 3 off the plate. I believe it's actually a 2-1 count. It may not. That may just be me. It may be 3-1. And you don't want to walk a guy here. Got to find a way with the top of the order coming back around. Cannot force the bases loaded with no outs here in the 9th inning. And instead, it will be a 5-pitch walk. So the inning continues, and some life for these fans for the Oilers. And Chris back out. We'll pause here for a moment for the Chinooks radio.
Number 22, Skylar Messenger.
Well, the meeting adjourned. Bases loaded. A 6-1 ball game after 1-1 crossing here. No outs in the inning. Skylar Messenger 0 for 4 today, 0 for 3 today with a walk back in the third. Chinooks looking for a big double play. And the first pitch is ball one inside from Brian Cardone. Cardone was lights out yesterday, 3 up, 3 down, but since today he's given up 1 run already and 2 walks and 2 hits. That's a strike on the inner part of the plate. 1-1 count. Fans don't agree with him. Quite get across the top half of the strike zone, but warming up in the bullpen, Justin Fox for the Chinooks. Curveball, strike 2, painting the outside part of the plate. Defense needing to make a big play here. Outfield straight away, middle infield as well in double play depth. Third base, Joe Brazil playing back. Just trying to get an out. 1-2 pitch. Curveball missing low and away. Good pitch. 2-2 count. Brian Cardone settling in here in the 9th inning. 6-1 the score. Chinooks still lead by 5, but the Oilers knocking on the door with the bases loaded and no outs. Full count awaiting as that pitch misses way inside to Messenger, and the Chinooks in jeopardy of walking in a run. The pitch is capped foul off the bat of Messenger. And so we'll up 1 and in jeopardy of giving up a few more. Swung on and foul tipped way foul as that's laced for just another full count pitch. Not sure anyone's finding that one though. Messenger trying to bring the Oilers within a run. Cardone, 2 innings pitched, coming in with 2 walks, 1 strikeout. And the fastball misses upstairs, so we'll walk in a run, and the tying run will come into the plate. Third walk issued by Cardone. And now he's got to face Camden Vasquez, who's reached every time he's come to the plate. 2 hits, 2 walks. Chinooks trying to pick up their second win. They've, in the 9th inning, have given up, in the last inning, have given up two games, basically. And then been 2 blowouts against them. Chinooks trying to end that curse here. Bases loaded, tying run at the plate. And that'll miss low. 2-0 count. Chris Beck awaiting to potentially go out there, but Cardone trying to get an out. Still no outs here in this inning. And you got to give the credit to the Oilers. They've done a great job just taking pitches. Haven't really had to take the bats off their shoulders. That's popped up and out of play.
This ball brought to you by Bill Parker.
Cardone coming set. 2-1 pitch awaiting. And that's going to be strike 2 at the inner third. Cardone looking for a big out. Vasquez has been down to his last strike a few times today, and he's been able to get out of it. Can he do it for a fifth time today? 2 walks, 2 hits again. Just off the plate, full counts. Big pitch awaiting. Popped up into left field, tailing away. Jake Collins over to get it. He'll make the catch. Just going to get it into third base. So with 1 out in the inning, runners on first and second, and you'll trade the run for an out. Good job by Cardone to get the out there. But an RBI sac fly off the bat of Vasquez.
Now batting number 29, Jaden Fine.
That brings in Paul Stephenson for the 3rd run in this inning. And now a double play wins the ball game for the Chinooks. Tying run still at the plate. It brings up Jaden Fine, the 3-hole. He's 0 for 4 today. First pitch to Fine. Popped up on the infield. That's going to be an infield fly. Automatically, no one at third base. Good job by J. Paul Fullerton to come over, but Joe Brazil will make the catch. It took the umpires a second. I was going to say, that's an infield fly automatically. You could drop it and make outs at any base, but 2 quick outs, and the Chinooks need 1 more with Brian Cardone.
Now batting number 12, Bobby Goodlow.
Bobby Goodlow up next, the third baseman, who has got a single in the ballgame today. Back in the 4th inning. Other than that, he's 1 for 4. First pitch from Cardone. And swung on and laced foul. Ricochets right off of the protective screen in front of the third base stands. Stands down that third base line. 0-1 count, 2 outs. Six hits, for the Oilers. The delivery home, fastball misses upstairs. Runners on first and second, Messenger out at first. Out at second base is Jonathan Villa. Both walked. In fact, in this inning, it's been a walk, single, walk, and then an RBI sac fly for out number 1 by Camden Vasquez, and then Jaden Fine just popping out there for the second out. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1-2 count for Brian Cardone. Can he do it? And can the Chinooks win here on the road for game 1? The payoff pitch, missing in the dirt. Kicked around a little by Paul Fullerton, but J. Paul Fullerton, but instead he'll just pick it up. 2-2 count awaiting, 2 outs. Swung on, hit to the one-hopper to Ethan English. That'll do it as the Chinooks will win 6-3. A sloppy 9th inning for the Chinooks. 3 runs given up, but Brian Cardone settled in a little bit, and he'll shake hands with J. Paul Fullerton. Good job by Ethan English, and the Chinooks pick up their 2nd win. They tie the record of the Oilers and send them to 2-4 as the Chinooks improve to 2-4. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. The Chinooks win this one 6-3, and you got to shout out Ethan English for the day. He had 3 runs scored, and at the plate, he was almost perfect. He had the strikeout in the 7th, but 2 doubles, a single, and a hit by pitch, and the RBI double in the 9th that brought in some insurance runs, and those were some key insurance runs in the 9th inning as they proved to be. 6-3 the score. Again, Josh Salem here. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock for the broadcast between the Peninsula Oilers Game 2 and the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. We'll be back tomorrow.